Hello, welcome to the Family Pro Huddle. I'm Shaunna.
I'm Andre.
Welcome to it. All right, we are on part 2 of our discipline conversation.
Yes.
So if you did not listen to part 1,
Go back.
go back.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to that because that's important and it sets up
Yes.
this one.
And I would say if you haven't watched the vision one, watch the vision one and then the discipline one and then come back to this one.
I will link those both on this. Yeah.
Yes.
So listen to those 2 and then come back to this one.
Yeah.
But this one we're going to get into the nitty-gritty
Yes.
of discipline. So I know we got a lot of questions about this.
Yes.
So let's get straight to it. So I think our general view on discipline was to create the structure like we talked about last episode, to avoid as much discipline needs as you can. But then also we disciplined uniquely to the kid.
Yes.
So we parented, every kid was different. We looked at them individually. They are their own unique human that
Yes.
God created unique and different. And so we are going to parent them differently. And so.
And not so different that the rules are,
Yeah.
If I could give you an example, if you say you have to be home by 6 and the other kid gets home that never has a curfew, that's not what we're talking about.
No.
We're talking about the nuances and it goes back to the agreement alignment thing, right? It's like, we're going to change this little bit unique for this child, for this situation, for this season, because they need something different right now.
Well, yeah. So for example, bedtime was bedtime.
Yeah.
At whatever age it was, it changed as they got older, but that was the bedtime.
Yes.
So, but then little things like our daughter was way more creative and she wanted to cook more.
Yes.
Well, our sons still had to learn to cook. We still taught them how to cook. They had to do it.
Yes.
But that wasn't what they necessarily loved.
No.
So they weren't as creative. So where our daughter would spend hours baking, she loved that. So it was like, yeah, have at it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't going to become a requirement of our other ones. Right. So everything unique to the kid as far as general perspective on parenting.
And then a lot comes from this conversations too, and I can understanding where if you have that structure we talked about in episode 1, now you can really say, okay, well, now I see where you're really failing. Is it a failure upon a rule that's unrealistic or unachievable for this particular child's rules, for their mindset, their discipline? There's no excuse for having a dirty bedroom, right? But if your kid's a little messy, and they're like, hey, you know what? This kid's a little messier.
We may not be as strict.
It might not be as strict. I know on Tuesday all this is going to come up. Where you have a kid that's super clean and just does it themselves.
Yeah.
But don't punish the kid that's messy because he didn't really break the rules per se.
It still cleans their room.
It still cleans the room. It's not the first thing on their mind when they pop out of bed.
It's not perfectly organized and every dust bunny cleaned. That's the difference, I think. We still expect a clean room. We still expect them to clean their room, but we might have one kid that's like, I can spend hours organizing my room, and another kid that's like, get me out. Yeah.
And by the way, to my point, your point is, it's still a clean room. You still have to have how I got there.
Yes.
And how hard it was. Hey, so one of the kids, guess what? The messy kid, you have to remind 5 times.
Right.
Hey, man, you can't. This is your discipline now because you didn't meet the expectation.
Or if one kid's got a gift in math.
Yes.
You're going to really push them to do more in math. So we would identify, okay, where are your giftings? I'm going to push you to even do more than you think you can in that area. You're going to have more responsibility there, more work, more math homework, more math, harder math classes, obviously. But I'm going to hold you to an A because I know you can.
Yes.
But if you've got another son or daughter who's math challenged, which happens, then it's okay. Well, I'm not going to put all this extra on you. That's not your gifting. Yes. But also, I'm not going to, the expectation is still you try with everything you can. But if a B is the best they can get or C is the best they can get, if it's the best they can do and they gave everything they tried hard, don't excuse them from having to do homework or whatever. But we're not going to, lose our mind because they're not gifted in that area.
Right, and the discipline part comes from, okay, did you... there's a punishment for not doing all your homework. There's punishment for showing up late. There's things there's a reward and a system of punishment that's equal to the task. So I might not give this kid as much praise for getting an A in something they're gifted in.
Right.
But I'm certainly not going to punish them for getting a B in something they're not gifted in.
Right.
It has to make sense. And explain that to your kids early, because they're talking about it's not fair. What about this?
Yeah.
This person's rules are that, and why does she get to do that or he get to do that? Have the conversation very early. Like,
You used to always say it's not fair, it's equal.
It's equal. We're not here for fairness. We're here for equality. So I'm gonna make it an equal environment, but fair is just unrealistic.
But equality looks different for each one.
Absolutely.
But yeah, our basic. I want to make sure we're clear with this. Our basic rules and our basic structure and the same. They all had the same goal. It was all the same.
All the same.
We were all still trying to raise an adult that could be productive in society.
Yes.
But we're paying special attention to their giftings.
Absolutely.
And the things they're not gifted in.
Yes.
And parenting accordingly.
And also the effort it takes to maintain the rule, right? To keep that rule enforced. Going back to the messy room, the kid that's a naturally clean, it's a military kids that, man, they made their beds every morning. That I was like, okay, now you should never have to tell this kid to clean his room. They're just, that's how they are. That's just how they're raised. Maybe that's not the place to really, you're not going to reward them for always having, they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a different system for that.
Yeah, adjust. So just be real, adjust accordingly. The other thing we always talked about was natural consequences.
Yes.
So before we get into, like, I've got real key points here about discipline, but before we get into that, like, these two things are important. Natural consequences have to happen. You can't, if you are providing a consequence as a discipline tool and it doesn't match the behavior choice, it doesn't make any sense to the kid.
No.
You're not teaching them that when they grow up, you want to raise a kid to be an adult who goes to work, and if they're late, they might get sat down and then they might get fired if it happens again. There's natural consequences.
Yes.
If you touch the hot stove,
Right.
you get burned.
Right. Yeah.
So if they get burned, there's no longer a need for a consequence.
No.
Like, they got it already.
Yes.
That was the consequence. If they touch the hot stove, or if they go to touch the hot stove, and if you spank, we spanked, and then they knew, ooh, that's going to hurt me, so I'm not going to do that. That was natural consequence. But we didn't spank for some things that it wasn't a natural consequence for.
Well, yeah, because the pain is going to be the consequence.
Yeah.
Trust me, you're going to want to inflict the pain more than the consequence would.
Yes.
The stove's a perfect example. And the goes back to we talked about before, the risk and responsibility. Well, that risk has to have a reward and some pain if it doesn't get met. So there has to make sense to the kid and to us, like, okay, this was not met. Yeah. And if you start age appropriate, it becomes really easy for them to figure out, like, oh, this is a much bigger thing I have to solve.
Yes.
I'm much more responsible. So if I drop this big responsibility of taking out the trash, and now we sit with the trash for another week because it didn't get taken out, that's a big responsibility. The whole house is affected because the trash is still out here for a week, right?
Yes.
So there should be an appropriate level of discipline to that versus
and if they don't
I didn't park in the right spot. Like,
if they don't take the trash out of their bedroom,
right?
When on trash day, when you tell them to,
I'll leave it.
You leave it.
Yeah.
That's the consequence. You get to live with a stinky room for the week.
And
you
don't take it out.
Do that.
And don't take it out for them. Don't save them.
Don't remove the natural consequences.
Absolutely.
That's, I think, what so many parents do. They remove the natural consequences and then insert their own consequences. So, in that situation, I'm going to take the trash out for them, even though they didn't. Now you just remove the natural consequence, and then I'm going to yell at them
for not doing it,
and make them, do the dishes. Well, that doesn't line up. It's confusing to the kid.
And by the way, the dishes might have been a responsibility they already had, or another one of your kids. So what did you really accomplish?
Right. It doesn't make any sense. So, okay. So those two things. Now, I want to give everyone the tool that we learned kind of late, but ended up helping so much. And that was individual time with each kid.
Mm-hmm.
We learned this tip, and you can call it, people call it different things, special time, it's whatever you want to call it, but consistently having time, like I had time with each kid each day consistently.
Yeah.
And that changed the game for us, because the kids knew, okay, I'm going to have that time with mom at bedtime or whatever it was. And it's not a long time, 5 minutes, 10 if you've got extra time on your hands, but 5 minutes so that you can say, hey buddy, I know you want to talk about that. We talk about that tonight?
Yeah.
Let's do that at our special time. Let's do that at our individual time, whatever it is. Then they know, oh, but if you're consistently doing it, they know they're going to get it, and they know they're going to get your full attention in that time, and they can ask whatever they want, and they can do whatever they want with you. So we would tell the kids, that's your individual time, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to talk about, whatever, I'm here to do whatever you want.
Yes.
And you just get me. My phone is off. The other kids are not involved. No one else is involved. It's just time.
And you have to understand as a parent, your presence is the only requirement. Just be there 100% in the moment with that child for that time. It's not entertainment time. It's not, let me figure out how to do something for you time. It's just literally just be present. It might be as simple as them just snuggling with you. It might be just like, you just don't know what that kid's expectation is, but that safe harbor, that 5 to 10 minutes, knowing that they're going to get that every day with each parent is mine. It saves so much issues. And it just, even if it's, especially, by the way, when it's those tough days, we all have them, and they know they're going to still get that time, it's really important. Do not skip that time as a function of discipline. Do not take away that time as a punishment. Don't use that as a tool to steer the boat. Like, no, that time's coming no matter what. That's a constant. Because
it removes the acting out just for your attention, because they're already getting your attention.
Absolutely.
It gives you time to answer their questions, like, hey, what happened today that I can answer for you? Like, what was confusing today, or what was hard today? If they don't know what they want to talk about, ask those questions. What was hard today? Like, just chat about something. You can, if they're little, you can sit there and play Legos together with them. If they, like, our boys used to have certain toys, they wanted me to play with them all the time, and I'm like, I can't play with you all day long, but let's do that at our individual time today. They knew they would get to do that, and they had to pick what we were doing during that time.
And what's cool about it is the kid gets to learn, and you get to learn what's important to them. Because it's now their time, their choice. This is that moment. And then what happens, what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is, that's become the entire system for parenting. It actually should just be a very small part of the parenting. That time when your kids are in control, they're empowered, they get to choose. Is a small time, not
it shouldn't be all day.
Your entire house runs.
I think we typically see parents one of two avenues. Either they're doing that, where the kid's in charge and the kid's running the day, and the kid, like, you're just reacting as the parent. And then that creates a very chaotic home. Or it's the reverse, where it's mom and dad are so busy and we're constantly running and we're constantly going, and the kids don't get any attention. And they need their parents' undivided attention. Even if it's a short time, it's a necessity of a child to get their undivided attention. So that's super important. That'll solve so many things. Okay, the other thing I would say to preempt the meltdowns, are they hungry? Do they need to get some energy out? So if you see your child, especially if you see your toddler melting down or having a fit or arguing, or even your youth is, arguing with you or freaking out about something, start with the basics. Feed them. Have they eaten recently? I mean, our teenagers used to come home and like, and if they were like melting down about something, I'd be like,
they need to eat.
What they need to eat. And you don't insult them. You just be like, hey, can I make you something to eat? You want a snack? And because they probably haven't had something since lunch, and they're probably just hangry and having a hard time controlling their emotions.
And by the way, if you ask them if they're hungry, they're going to tell you no.
Yeah, especially the teenagers. So the kids too, though, like, just start with that. Make sure they're not reacting emotionally because they're hungry. And then if they haven't gotten energy out, we see this especially with the boys. But if they have not had an opportunity to get energy out.
And keep in mind, this is a school system you see all over the country. I don't know where you guys are watching from, but there's not a lot of recess time. It's not like we grew up where they get outside every day. There's kickball, baseball. There's something to do outside every day, or the Midwest, so we're inside. But it was still,
well,
we still had in days. You did something.
Recess and PE.
Recess and PE every day.
And they don't have, most of them don't do PE anymore.
Or their version of PE is not PE. It's It's because there's no...
hold on the topic.
But I think that's where understand that. And by the way, if you're a homeschool parent, even more important that you enforce that rule, because that kid might be in front of a screen all day, and that's their environment with you, and energy out. Get them out in the grass, in the turf, in the sand, wherever you live.
They
mountains,
need to be outside.
Prairies, wherever you live in the country.
Yes.
Find a way to get outside, get that air, get some time, even if it's winter time.
We spent a winter in the Midwest, and when our oldest was a little one.
Yeah.
And I wasn't used to it, being from California, but I knew he needed to get fresh air, and so I went to great length to get him outside, meaning I had to set up a playpen with a cover on it so he didn't get eaten alive by the bugs. Just to get him out for a little while.
Or the cold in the winter. Yeah.
Bundle him up so they can get outside in the cold even. Get him outside and then get energy out. They need to physically move. They need, even when our boys were even grade school, 5th grade or middle school, they needed to get energy out. So when they were sitting and doing homework, I wouldn't let them sit there for even 20 minutes, more than 20 minutes, because it's no, go do something. Yeah. Go do 5 push-ups. Go run around the block, come back, go whatever, just let them get their energy out, and then they'll behave so much better. They can control their energy. Yeah, you'll see that time, and then they'll appreciate the ability to have that outlet. And then eventually they'll just start asking. Yeah. And now you have to, I need to go run. And then you have to okay, this can't be an hour-long thing. And it's really great setup for what's our goal, to raise adults, right? So they're learning to self-regulate. They're learning to go, okay, when I get hungry, I need to eat this. When I'm tired, I need to do this. If I can change my energy system here, they're gradually learning. I know, I need to get outside for a walk every day. If I don't get outside for a walk, it's not healthy for me. It's not good for me. I need to get out and move. And every day I do, I feel better. Yes. But we teach our kids this things, right? You learn that, and you make room for that conversation. If you're scheduling it, even better. Yeah. Okay. 2 more things. Let's talk about choices. Okay. So a lot of discipline comes from choices, where it's a power struggle, right? Yes. So it's a kid wanting to make the choice that you're not letting them make. Mm-hmm. So much of discipline is from that. So it's caused by that. So when they're little, it may be like they're 2. When they're young, you give them as many choices as they can effectively make. Yes. So where you can let a child make a choice, let them make the choice. Yes. Where you can't, where they shouldn't be making that choice, you don't let them. So if they're, for example, if they're 2, you might give them a choice of, I'm going to set 2 or 3 outfits or shirts down. Which one do you want to wear today? Yes. That's the boundaries that they can choose within. Yeah. Wearing these shorts, you pick the shirt. Yes. But they're not deciding what we're doing the entire day. Right. They're not deciding, what time we're going to have dinner. Yes. They're, give them the right areas that they can make decisions, and where they can safely make them, let them make them. And own the decision they make. If they choose that shirt and then they go out and they're well, that's what you chose. So next time we have this choice, let's think about this. And when that choice comes up again, hey, so you found out that blue shorts don't really match. Yeah. That bright yellow. Yeah. Or they put on a sweatshirt. So as they get older, then it's okay, well, pick from your closet what you want to wear today. Yeah. I think we went from pick from these 2 outfits to pick a sweatshirt and a t-shirt and a pair of shorts. Yeah. And then if they didn't, and then it became pick your outfit. If they didn't pick a sweatshirt, the natural consequence was they were cold. Yeah. I'm not removing that from you. And then when they got old enough where they were playing sports, it was, you're going to pick your socks and your cleats and your everything you need to go to practice in. And if you don't have socks, guess what? You're practicing without socks, dude. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. There's consequences there. Yes, and I think that those are, I said it before, the risk and responsibility. What am I responsible for? And if I'm responsible for this and it doesn't, if I don't do it, what happens? If I do it, what happens? And it's all age appropriate. It's all in skill level appropriate. Give your kids, some kids are more organized than other kids. Some kids need more structure. You just have to really adjust to that child to give them room to grow. Think of it like when you go bowling, it's you're going to put up those rails to make sure that minimum the ball is going to get to the pins. Yep. It might only get 1 pin, but at least the ball got there and you created those guardrails. But if the whole time you're walking the ball down and rolling it for your kid, they're never going to really know what that choice was. So now they learn, okay, I had to hit the guardrails 3 times as I went down the aisle and only got 1 pin. Well, that's the real result.
That's the real choice that you had to make. Look at how much I had to do for you to get this result. Look how involved we had to be.
Yeah.
And I'll say this very slowly and quickly. The more good choices you make, the more choices you get to make.
Yes.
The more bad choices you make, the less choices you get to make. So it's very simple.
Yes.
And teach them that very early, that
Yes.
great choices means
Yes.
more things. There's a whole book called Discipline is Freedom. Discipline equals freedom.
Yes.
Read it if you want.
Yes.
It's a really powerful book.
Yeah, because if they're toddlers and they're, you're letting them play outside and they choose to roll around in the muck, like, or whatever it is, like, if they make a bad choice, then they get less choices the next time. So then the next day you're going out and it's like, well, now you can only play in this area because yesterday you rolled around in that mud.
Yes.
So you get less choices now.
Right.
As they're older, as teenagers, it's, hey, you can, maybe they're 17 years old. I'm thinking about times our kids are this age, and they're going out for the weekend. They're obviously driving at that point. They're going to where they want to go. We required they communicate where they were going. Who they were with, and that there was a tracker on their phone that we could see, and we knew when they would be back.
Yeah.
If plans changed, they had to communicate that. Now, if they break any of those rules, they made a choice that was bad. They didn't get home on time. They didn't communicate. They changed their plans. They went with someone that they didn't tell us about, or whatever, or they turned off their tracker.
Right.
Then it was, okay, well, then you don't get that choice next weekend.
Yes.
You don't get to go anywhere.
Now, and keep in mind, really important, when the next time it comes up to make that choice, remind them why it's changed. Hey, last time we did this, you made this choice, which I told you.
Consequence.
Hey, you came home at 11, we said 10. Well, next time it's 9. So now you took an hour from me, I took an hour from back from you, or you're not going to go at all.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, hey, it's my, no, remember last time we talked about this. And so set that expectation and like, oh, okay, now they get to absorb that choice, take responsibility.
Yeah.
And now,
they did it to themselves, they know.
Okay, was that really something I should do? Because
Yeah.
I didn't really like the result of that. I'm going to change my behavior.
Yeah.
So it's really, I think people really have missed out on the ability to let their kids have some choices. Like let them have the consequence of making that choice.
Because when those consequences are super consistent and they've been communicated, you're right, it equals freedom. Like it means they have the freedom to do, to make the choice, to have the free will to do this, or this. But if you choose the bad, you get the consequence of that.
Right.
And then you don't get to choose again.
No.
And as an adult, that's how life really works, right? If I choose to treat you badly and scream at you, you're not going, there's natural consequences to that. You're not going to, you just had a very vile reaction to that.
No, I thought my mind went off.
Oh, you're going to have a reaction to that, and I have to face that consequence.
Yes.
So there's natural consequences to these things, and to our choices. That's what we're teaching them is like.
Yes, and I think there's a big, I hope there's a movement among this of like, as far as because you guys are forgetting that the social media, the digital influence on your kids' lives, you has to be measured. So if you don't have a natural physical reaction to things, they're going to live in this digital world thinking it's real. Because the digital world and the real world does have natural reactions. So if you take that away from the physical world, they're going to literally learn to just be in front of that screen. It's one of the things that's great about the screen. There's really no consequence, really nothing physical. So it's like I can say whatever I want, I can do whatever I want, I can be whatever I want.
I think this is why I get so triggered when I see toddlers in front of screens. Because they're not learning to self-regulate. They're not learning how to behave in public. Now there's a time and a place for a phone or a screen in front of them, but if anytime you go anywhere or most of their day is behind a screen, or anytime you're in public, they have to be put behind a screen so they'll behave. They're not learning how to behave in public. You have to teach them as they're young, and yes, it probably means you go out to public places less. Because it takes them a while to learn.
Until they learn,
You know, it's our kids. I remember sitting in Starbucks one time in line at Starbucks, and the kids were little toddlers. Our youngest was a baby, and we had 2 toddlers, and the toddlers were like instantaneously, as soon as we walked in to get in line, they're bolting, and I'm like, they're trying to climb into the refrigerated section. I'm like, get out, come back, and I looked in front of me, and there was a dad with a little girl. that was just standing next to her dad, not touching anything, not trying to go anywhere, quiet. And I'm like, why didn't I get those kids?
Yeah.
But I will say it was challenging, but the consistency there of like, no, we don't do that. And that meant to me, we don't go to Starbucks all the time. I couldn't take them out all the time. It wasn't safe. And they had to learn how to behave. So, hey, guys, you just ran across that store. You don't get to go to the store with me next time.
Or you don't get, now you're not getting anything this time.
Right, now we have to go home and we don't get a treat from Starbucks.
Because I guarantee you had the conversation before you went out the car.
Yes.
When we get out this
100%.
car, here's what's going to happen. Here's my expectation.
Yep.
Here's what good behavior looks like, and then you'll get this.
Yes.
And if you don't do that,
yeah.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean I don't get it? Well, you climb the refrigerator. Oh, I couldn't do that? No. You can't climb in the refrigerator at Starbucks and still get what we're going to get. So now we're going home.
Yeah, and that meant, you know, it was frustrating to me.
Because you didn't get your Starbucks either.
I didn't get my Starbucks either. But it did mean, you know, they learned. It took some consistency. It took a bit of time because our kids had a lot of energy and a lot of opinions. I love that about them now as adults. They're opinionated, they're grown, they're mature. Now they know how to behave in a Starbucks.
Well, I think there's, you know, I call it the empty cart. There's not enough empty grocery carts at the store.
Right.
There should be some people like just full of groceries and they just left it because they couldn't do it. Like,
yeah,
all right, never
I've
mind.
had to do that so many times.
Leave the cart. We're going
so
home.
Annoying.
Forget it.
Yep. Okay, the only other thing I wanted to add in was this tip that I've been talking to a few parents about. When you've got siblings that argue.
Yes.
So, this is something I think we use that we didn't label. We call it this, but the tip was to have a bidding war. Mm-hmm. And so if the kids are arguing over a item, like, I want the remote. No, I want the remote. You know, I want to play with that toy. No, I want to play with that toy. And they're arguing over an item. You just immediately interrupt them and say, okay, starting bid is 10 minutes of vacuuming. Whatever, pick a chore.
Yeah.
And then if they're willing to do that, one kid will say, I'll do 10 minutes of vacuuming for the toy. The other kid, I don't want to do the 10 minutes of vacuuming. You can have the toy. Or it may be, well, I'll do 20. Okay, well, I'll do 30. Okay, you know what I mean? And you can let them have that. You're teaching them how to debate, how to negotiate. Yeah. Sorry, that was the word. And then, but you're also like, what's really worth what?
Yes.
And you're getting some chores done too.
Well, also, I think it teaches very early, we could do a whole other episode on this, of their own time and responsibility having value.
Yes.
Like, you put your own value on their own time. You teach them.
How hard are you
your
work
time is worth something. Your effort is worth something. Your discipline means something. So if you're willing to make A over B, this is the result. Okay, I get to do that again and again and again. And you start this success cycle. And when failure shows up, they're like, oh, that's just temporary. I can remove that. I know exactly how to move on from this. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of kids are missing these days, because it's all, unfortunately, it's digitally based, or the parents are just, and they want to be their friends.
But again, I think I go back to like the consistency, because you can throw those things out, and then if you're like, well, you don't have to do the whole 10 minutes of vacuuming. Like, there's no consistency if you are not a person of your word when it comes to parenting. Your children are going to manipulate you and run over you.
Yes.
And so that, I think at the end of the day, that's everything.
Yes, and I think in the last episode, don't think for a second they won't run you over.
Yeah.
And don't think your kid's not capable of manipulation. They're little angels. It's 4-year-old manipulation. We're not talking about.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not Jezebel.
It's not the whole world getting turned against you. It's a 4-year-old. Calm down. So it's just making sure you understand that they will take advantage, because they're going to seek pleasure and avoid pain. It's very simple.
Yeah, it's natural for us. Okay, so drill for the week, I'm going to say, is our individual time. So I think this was so key for us, and it's so easy to do. A lot of people get intimidated because they think, oh, I don't have time for that. Yes, you do. You have 5 minutes per kid, unless you have 20 kids. Then we'll have a different discussion. So give 5 minutes a day to each kid. Communicate that to the kids and tell them, hey, every day from now on, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at bedtime, 5 minutes after school, whatever it is, just be consistent with it. You're gonna get individual time with mommy, and same with daddy. And then let's see how it goes.
Yes.
I'm so curious. Let them do whatever they want in that time. Let's see if that helps you with your discipline.
And and the drill for us, I come from a sports environment, something you can do right now. Something you can walk away from the episode and today implement. So every episode will have a drill of what you can do right now to help your family to that next level and walk away with something tangible. So that's what we mean when we say the drill for the week.
Yes, absolutely. All right, you guys. Well, go follow us on social media at The Family Pros. We'll continue the conversation there. Ask us all your questions. Tell us how the individual time is going. We will see you there. Do you want to pray for us today?
Okay. Thank you, Lord, for these families. Thank you, Lord, for their commitment to raising their kids in a godly way. Thank you for their discipline, for their commitment to loving you and bringing you into their households, for letting your presence reign as the ruler of their homes. Give them the courage and the strength to have the conversations, to commit themselves and their families to following you, worshiping you, and loving you with the discipline and freedom that they have in their hearts. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.